what are you gonna do? Sometimes the phone gets hot and it tells me to go screw myself. So everything froze up. We're backed in the door now. It's really hot. The sun is killing me, man. It's burning up in here. Pay your bill. Pay your damn phone bills, and they won't shut it down. All right, turn the APU on real quick. Turn the APU on. Woo! Hot mother. Anyway, so we got shut down. Where are you? I'm up here in Lebanon, Illinois. Nope, not first again. You were last. If you ain't first, you're last. Alright, so anyway, I wanted to make sure I got everybody's questions answered. I got interrupted because I had to back in, so if you got any questions, feel free to chime in here. I'm just gonna sit back here in the sleeper with my pillowcase falling off my pillow all the time and see if I can't help y'all answer some questions. I'm in Central Illinois. Know where Decatur is? Yeah, been there plenty of times. I've been to Decatur plenty of times. How do you stay fit? Don't eat carbs, man. Pretty much. If you want to stay fit, just minimize your carb intake. What's a good company to start with if you had your CDL for 30 years with all your endorsements but never been on the road? I don't know. In 30 years, you should be able to get a job damn near anywhere, but a lot of these companies, they want to see that over the road experience. You know, I tell people they can go to Prime, but you got 30 years experience. You could, I mean, you really go anywhere. Guitar time, maybe. I might break out the guitar for a minute. We'll see. Let's see how this works. See, this is all in the way. That's all in the way of the camera, and I don't feel like moving that one. So, hey, that'll work. That'll work. That's a new camera angle for the truck, ain't it? How about that? Yeah, I'm kind of on the keto diet. I'm kind of not. Some days I am, some days I'm not. It's hard to find. It's hard to do it on the road, because just the food choices out here is all freaking carbs, man. It's pretty much all carbs. Do you ride bikes? No, I used to ride bicycle a long time ago, before I had a car. Did you hear that Warren Buffett invested in Pilot? Yes, I did. That was a while back. Yeah, cheeseburgers are delicious, man. That's cheeseburgers and pizza. I love me a good pizza. So it's hard to stay on that keto. That is correct. You are not able to transfer your permit to the state of Missouri. Prime Inc. is based out of Missouri, so you cannot transfer your permit from your home state to Missouri if you're not from Missouri. So if you go to Prime and you already got your permit and you're not from Missouri, that is correct. You cannot transfer the permit. That is not a Prime Inc. thing. That's a state of Missouri thing. They did that to prevent, fraud and other things like that. Are you Italian? I have no freaking idea. I have no freaking idea. To be honest with you, I would have to do some kind of DNA test or something to figure that out. But I was testing out this camera angle. I kind of like this camera angle. I can stand up. I can stretch out. See, this is why I like Cascadia right here. I can't even touch the ceiling. I don't think this is tuned up right now, but not at the moment. Hold on a second here. And I took the strap off because the strap is not... What? Have you ever driven to Peterbilt? I drove at Kenworth for about, I don't know, 30 minutes one time. That's about it. See, I can put my foot up on the chair and lean into it. What does a dyno say about an engine? Have you ever had one done? Yes, when I buy my new trucks, when I buy the trucks from Pedigree, they have a dyno done on them before I buy it. Now, the dyno is going to tell you how the engine's performing, and the main thing you're looking at is your blow-by, okay? How much oil consumption, how much oil is getting past the rings on the pistons, okay? That's one of the most important things you need to know, because that'll tell you how worn your pistons or your cylinder walls or your piston rings are, okay? No, I'm not singing. Do you think you'll add in a Walmart dedicated account? I don't think it's very likely, unless it pays really well, but I don't really know what the Walmart stuff pays. So, but as of right now, I don't see that happening. Yeah, she was way out of tune. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Yep. All right. Much better. Much better. I'm not really a fan of International. I have 2 of them, and I like this hat, so I wear it. But I'm probably, I probably won't be buying any more Internationals. I can play a couple things. I haven't practiced that one in a minute, so We'll just skip on to something else. Do you fart and poop your pants? No, I don't. I also don't drop my trailer when I pull the kingpin because the brakes are set. You can't go anywhere. Man, I'm not really into country music, to be honest with you. Not none of that new school country music. I like some Johnny Cash, but are you having a hard time learning guitar? Yes and no. Like, learning it's the easy part. Actually playing it is the hard part. So yes and no. I mean, you know, I can play a bunch of chords, but putting them into a song is a completely different story. So I can play all those chords. So I can play A, AM, C, EM, E, G, D, DM. So with those 5 or 6 chords, you can play some songs, but that's all up here in the top part of the guitar. I haven't done any of this yet. So there's a lot to it. There's a good 7 or 8 more chords just from here down that I haven't even learned yet. So, and then very different variations of that, power chords, you know, all that goofy stuff, which I have no clue yet, but I can do some basic stuff, you know. I don't think I'm really in the mood to play today, to be honest with you. I haven't practiced in a couple days, so anyway, if you guys have any more trucking questions, we'll get those answered today. This Freightliner, what? I don't know, man. Sometimes these questions get a little confusing. Why don't you do oil field? My trucks are not spec'd out for oil field work. I'd have to say my favorite is probably a reefer. They get the best fuel economy. All that kind of stuff. Why no more internationals? They just don't get with the Cummins, they just aren't getting the fuel economy that my Cascadias are. So I really like the Cascadia a lot better. What's your opinion on the RV transport that use the pickups? I haven't heard anything bad about it. I think they can do about $1.50 all miles, which isn't that bad considering with a pickup truck, but I don't know how much profit is really in that. Yes, my trucks are still leased onto RST. You need a nice long Pete for pulling tanker. I don't think you need it. I think you want it, but I don't think you need it. You can pull a tanker with a Cascadia. I've seen it done. Loves does it every day, all day of the week. Most of Love's tanker trucks are Cascadias now. So you don't need a long nose Pete to pull a tanker. You just want one. Big difference. Big difference there. Watching from Nebraska, always enjoy. I appreciate that, Nick or Rick. I can't read today. The difference in MPG on the Cummins versus the Detroit is almost 1 mile per gallon difference. So I probably won't be buying any more trucks with the Cummins for a while, just because, I mean, the Cummins has a great amount of power. They pull great. They've had minimal issues, but overall the MPG is just much lower, and I still can't wrap my head around it why they are that way, but that's just the way they are. So I probably won't be buying any more of these. My dad used to drive a Peterbilt, so I'm a little biased. Yeah. Once you have Jim, once you have 2 years, once the lease is 2 years old or older from Prime, then if you can come up with the money to buy it, you can. But if you terminate the lease early to purchase the truck, you have to pay for the whole truck. You don't just put the down payment. But if you have good financing through a bank, you can do that. As far as I know, you cannot do it before 2 years. As far as I know. Now, that program may have changed. You'll have to talk to them, because I don't work there anymore. I don't know what they're doing with that. That may have changed, so you can always give them a call and figure it out. But back when I was doing there, that's what it was. When you lease on to a company, more than likely they're going to provide a way for you to get the plates, get the insurance set up, get graphics on the truck, and get your owner occupational medical coverage, which is accidental injury coverage on you. Okay, so when you lease onto a company, they should handle most of that. Now, you're probably going to have to do some of the legwork, but they should have systems in place to help provide you with a way to get plates, a way to get graphics, a way to get your workers' comp, which would be OCAC, what's called OCAC, occupational accidental coverage. Okay, is what it's called, and that would be for an employee or a contractor that's on a 1099. Okay, because now the LLC and your EIN number, all that, you're going to have to do that on your own. The company you're leased onto isn't going to do that for you. Most of the time, they're not going to have a way for you to do that through them. You'll have to go to LegalZoom or something like that to get that set up on your own. But other than that, there really isn't a whole lot to set it up. I mean, it takes a couple days to get all that set up, but most of the time in the trucking industry, if you have a good insurance company, they're going to have a lawyer team on standby, so that if something happens out here where you could potentially be sued, like an accident, the insurance company is going to have hold on. the insurance company is going to have a lawyer team available for your disposal. Now, if you're doing that on your own, you have to make sure that the insurance company that is insuring your equipment has a legal team on retainer that you can access. If not, you'll have to go find an attorney on your own to cover any legal issues that may come up. All right? So, but most good insurance companies for commercial insurance for business will have a lawyer team on standby if something happens that you can utilize. It's actually something I don't think anybody's covered before. Do you like Volvos? I like the new ones. I never really liked Volvos before, but I do like the new ones. I like how they look better. You know, as far as everything else, I kind of prefer the Cascadia, but that's just what I've been driving forever. So that's what I mean. Basically, the truck that you start with, or you know, the truck that you get used to, you learn to drive in, is the ones that you're probably going to lean more towards wanting to have. You could obtain I think you should obtain a lawyer to read your lease contract with you, but I don't really know what kind of attorney you're going to want to get for that. I don't have any recommendations for that, basically. I read the lease agreements myself. I took criminal justice law enforcement in college, so I understand how to read legal documents and decipher what it is they're trying to say, or how the document is protecting the lessor or the lessee, or whatnot. You know, so I'm pretty good at reading them myself. But if you don't have the understanding of what these different terms mean and stuff like that, I do recommend getting an attorney to look at it and to make sure you're not getting screwed over on a lease. But you know, I can't really give you a recommendation on who to go to for that. I buy the Prime trucks because they have a full maintenance record. They do a lot of work to them before they sell them. New tires, new brakes, new wheels, full detail. They fix all the paint, any cosmetic issues. They fix any mechanical issues. And for the most part, they're they're spec'd out exactly the way I need for pulling reefer, because that's what Prime pulls majorly, is reefer. So they're spec'd out perfectly for that. And they have really solid equipment, so that's why I buy their trucks. Are you available? I don't know what that means. Do you think you'll add in heavy haul? Not anytime soon. I might change my mind in the future, but not anytime soon. What is your favorite car? Probably have to be a 1969 Pontiac GTO. Would have to be my favorite car, and eventually I'll have one someday. I don't know when, but eventually I'll buy one if I can get one. It's getting harder and harder to get old muscle cars, but that's probably my favorite car. Is old muscle, American muscle. Oh, lease contract. To look over your lease contract, I can look over it. But you know, I am usually pretty busy, but I don't mind reading over your lease contract. You can email that to me, okay? At driveforwoody@gmail.com. You can send that to me in an email, PDF or whatever, screenshots of it, whatever. And I'll look over it as soon as I can. But you know, I can't give you any advice on what to do or what not to do, but I can read it and see, what's going on there. Maybe give you a phone call or something, but shoot me your contact information and a copy of that lease or whatnot to my email, and maybe I can help you, but I can't give you any legal advice, whether to sign it or not. That's up to you, but I can read it and give you my opinion on it. How did your woodshed get to the lot? I think somebody did fail on it before I got it, or just quit. But doesn't matter. I got the truck now, so. I started listening to You Need More Money by Matt Monero. Motivating, but also scary. Good listen. It really is. It's a wake-up call. We all need more money to take care of our families, plan for retirement, plan for emergencies, plan for, death, okay? Because we're all going to die. That's why I say try not to die at the end of the videos. We're all going to die at some point. You have to be financially prepared for that. You have to make sure your family is financially prepared for that. If you passed away today, how would your family survive? Sort of thing, And if the answer is they wouldn't, or not very good, then you've got work to do, okay? You've got to stack up the money. You've got to have life insurance. You got to make sure you have all that stuff set up. And the book talks about all of that stuff. It is a very good book that you all should listen to. You can get it on Audible. If you don't have Audible, okay, you can get a free trial, and your first book is free, okay? If you go to audibletrial.com/Next Level Trucking, you can get a free book and a free 30-day trial, so you can listen to the book for free. It's called, once again, the book is called You Need More Money by Matt Monero, and you can get that on Audible. You can listen to it while you're driving, okay? It's good stuff. The first truck I drove was an International. I prefer the Cascadia. Yeah. How many trucks do you think you can handle by yourself under your current system? Probably 10 to 12. I mean, it's getting a little crazy, but probably somewhere between 10 to 15 trucks I can handle myself. After that, I'm going to have to start really focusing on having an office and somebody to help me with it. But I think with the current system I have, I do most everything from my phone as it is. So, I probably don't really need a whole lot of help until I get above 10 trucks. So that's ultimately my goal right now, is to get to 10 trucks as fast as I can, safely, but as fast as I can, so that I can get to that next level. What's going on, John? How do you like the automatic? I actually love the automatics, the new ones. They perform really well. They've got a lot of torque. They climb hills well. You don't have to downshift all the time in traffic, and they're really good on fuel. So I actually really like the new automatics. When I become a trucker, I'm never gonna. It feels like I don't sometimes, man. I've been out here too long. I need to get to the house here pretty quick. Should I go to CDL school or go through a company? That's up to you. Personally, I think taking a company route is the way to go, because you don't have to pay, okay? If you go to a training company like Prime, for example, because they have the highest starting pay, that's why I always say Prime, they have the highest starting pay for students, okay? So if you go to Prime and you stay there a full year, you owe them $0 for the schooling, and they don't take anything out of your check for the schooling for the year that you're there. The only time you pay them a dime for the schooling is if you leave before the year is up. So you don't have to come out of pocket at all, except for to buy your pay for your CDL, the $150 or whatever it is now to get your CDL, okay? That's pretty much all you're gonna have to come out of pocket if you go to Prime. Maybe a couple $100. Now, if you go to a CDL school, you're gonna pay anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to get that CDL training, and you don't necessarily have a job lined up after you get that CDL. Whereas if you go to a company that provides the CDL training, as soon as you get your CDL, you're already working. You already got a job. You're already making money. So that's why I recommend going to a company like Prime to start out. Now, I believe KLLM is a team is teams only, right? So if you start with them, you have to drive team. You can't drive solo with them. As far as I understood, maybe I might be wrong on that, but as far as I understood, they were a team only operation. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but that's what I knew about it. I haven't really heard anything much more about them lately, but so I can really only give you a good solid opinion on the companies that I've worked for. You know, I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit here and bash another company or try to tell you something about another company that I've never worked at. Now, I hear things and people tell me things about these companies, and that's what I'll tell you from what I've heard, but I can't give you a full analysis of all these companies because it's just impossible. I can't work at all of them, and I'm not going to anyway, so I hope that's understood. If I'm talking about any company out here, it's very limited knowledge for me because I haven't actually worked at those other companies. KLLM, you can start and stay solo. Okay, cool. That's not a bad deal then. That's not necessarily a bad deal, but I do say that if you want to get your CDL, in my opinion, the best way to go, lowest money out of pocket, and you have a job once you get your CDL, go work for a company that will train you. Get your CDL, and you're making money right away. Even as a student, you get a check. So I'm hoping I'll be home managing a little bit earlier than that, but what I'm going to try to do is get some freight set up. Well, I should say we are going to try to get some freight set up where I can run a couple loads a week and be at the house, you know, every weekend, or at least a couple days a week be home, you know, and then eventually I won't be driving much at all, which I don't like the idea. I really like driving, okay? I like being out here. I like staying in touch with what the drivers are going through and, you know, what's actually required to do the job out here so that I can be a better leader of the company and make sure that the systems and the programs that the policies that we have for our drivers make sense for what they're actually doing out here on the road. So I never want to lose touch with what's going on out here on the road and what the drivers have to deal with. So it's hard to balance that and figure out, okay, how much do I need to drive and how much, you know, should I stay out here to figure out exactly what's going on out here so that I can have a good solid understanding of what the drivers are having to deal with. You know, because it's too easy to just sit in the office and point around and tell the drivers to do stuff. You know, that's not what I want to do. Do I want to be home more? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I realize that to be a good leader at my company and to provide better for the drivers, I have to be out on the road as well, at least a little bit, so that you know, I have an understanding of what's going on out here. Did Robert Lowe ever drive a truck? Yes. And to this day, he still has his CDL, he still maintains his CDL, and he still hauls a couple loads a year. A lot of people don't know that. The owner of Prime still drives a truck a couple times a year. I'm looking at Schneider. They will send you to school and cover the bill, and you could start out dedicated. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple options out here. You don't have to go to Prime. That's just where I went. That's what I know, and I know it's a good program. That's why I talk about it so much. But you don't have to go there. You can go wherever you want. you can go wherever you want to go. But if you're gonna get your CDL, if you're just starting out, I do recommend going to a company that will either pay for your training or will train you. That way you don't have to come out of pocket for CDL school. Now, some of you guys that, if you're a veteran, okay, if you're a veteran, you can use your GI Bill for the CDL training, and then you get your housing allowance and all that other stuff with it, which is, which is not really a bad deal. Okay, so some of you guys, if you just got out of the military and you're getting your CDL, you can use your GI Bill to do that, and they'll give you your housing allowance and all that kind of stuff, which can be very, very beneficial to you. You know, we're looking into, for the future, I want to be able to do that for people as well. If you don't have your CDL and you're just getting out of the military, I want to be able to have a program where we can train people, and it gives them the opportunity to use their GI Bill, so they get that housing allowance. It gives them their extra money they need, and all that kind of stuff, and they get their CDL, they get a job, and they start making good money. So there are programs out there already with these other companies where you can do that as well. So if you're a veteran and you just got out of the military and you want to get your CDL, you can do that. You just have to find the right company to do that with. So it is possible to own a large trucking company and still drive trucks. Absolutely. Okay. I've said this before on Facebook, and I'll say it here. My goal is not, I'm never going to use the office as an excuse to why I can't drive. Like, that's not what it's for. But at a certain point, I have to go into the office to manage things because of the paperwork, compliance, making sure that everything's going good on the back office stuff. I'm gonna have to do that stuff, but I still want to drive as well. Maybe not as much as I have been, but I will still maintain my CDL and make sure that I understand what's going on out here on the road, so that I can be a good leader of my company. That's ultimately the goal with that. So I'm not just one of these guys that just wants to sit in the office all the time and chill while my drivers make me a bunch of money and I don't have to do nothing. That's not the goal. What's going on? Hello from Croatia. What's going on, Jason's? I appreciate that, Daniela. No more chrome for the woodshed now. Not for a while. Eventually, I'll have the woodshed parked somewhere, probably at our big ass terminal that we build or whatever, and it'll be in the lobby, and everybody can stare at it while it collects dust. Does RST file and pay for your IFTA? Yes, they do. You know, it's not hard. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's not hard to win at this business. Be honest, be fair to the drivers, pay them well, and just be honest. Don't screw people over. I have, you know, that's how I know we are going to win. Our team is going to win. Team WTF is going to win, is because we stay honest. We tell the drivers what we're doing. We don't hide anything from the drivers. We're not trying to do anything shady or nothing like that. It's going to be really easy to win in this industry because the standard is the opposite of that, which is sad to say, but the industry standard is to lie, scheme, scam, cheat, and abuse drivers. That's the industry standard. And if you go against those grains, it's not going to be hard to win, because drivers are going to recognize that, and you guys recognize that, and they're going to want to work for you. You know, that's my focus, is making sure I don't do any of those things. Scheme, scam, abuse, take advantage of, or mistreat drivers. A lot of these companies, even smaller ones, okay, it's not just big companies guilty of this, even small to medium-sized companies are guilty of this, treating drivers like meat, just run the truck, and, you know, they don't care about turnover, they don't care about how they treat the drivers, because no matter what, they're going to make money off of everybody that comes in, and they don't care. Do you have to have insurance for your drivers by law? No, you do not. In most states. Some states you do. Texas, you do not. In Texas, you don't have to have it. Now in the future here, I'm going to be setting something up for them, but as a small company that's growing, you can't necessarily afford all of that right away. It takes time to build that, and you know, you have to dip into the profit margin to do that, and it's very expensive. I've looked into it. It's extremely expensive to provide health insurance. If I'm going to pay 50% of the health insurance, it gets really expensive, right? All right, Pete 79, 379. I'll see you later. If there's any other last minute questions, let's get them out, and I'll answer those. I appreciate everybody that stopped by today to watch this and interact with me here on my channel. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That does help the channel grow and helps us reach more people and help more people. So I appreciate everybody that does that. And I don't see any other questions, I don't think. So you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. And hopefully we'll be adding another truck pretty soon. How is the mattress you got? It's pretty good. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next video. Try not to die.